Hi, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to draw a beautiful tree with watercolor, a simple tree, and for that I'm using sap green watercolor, and the set I'm using is Cotman's Winsor and Newton Cotman's basic color palette, and I'm mixing sap green with a little bit of water. And the paper I'm using is watercolor paper, 6 inches by about 8 inches, small piece of paper. And with not too much water, I'm just dabbing the brush into the sap green. And I'm almost making it like a dry brush with just a teeny bit of water and applying dry brush strokes. You don't need to be exact, just randomly apply with a dry brush here and there, and if you want you can add a little bit of water so that the paint sticks to the brush. And keep applying random strokes like this. And since we are drawing a tree, you don't need to be exact in the shapes and all that. Just apply based on your judgment. So this is the first layer that we are making with the sap green. And this time I'm mixing little ultramarine blue to get a different shade of green. See, like you can see, the shade is little different, little cooler when we add ultramarine blue. And anyway, towards the center of the tree, the leaves will be darker. And towards the top and the sides, since the light hits the leaves, the shades will be lighter towards the edges. Anytime when you're making tree, it's better to have 2-3 different shades, so it gives a depth to the tree. And this time the third layer I'm mixing little yellow with the green to get a different shade. And add only tiny bit of water, not too much. And for the edges I'm using that color that I mixed with yellow and sap green, and just dab it here and there. Make sure it's not too symmetrical, because when you look at a tree, any tree is not symmetrical. So just make sure that normally when I tend to make drawings, I make everything symmetrical. That's what my mistake is. Even this one, I think it is a bit too symmetrical. So make sure you don't do that. And for the branches, I'm mixing ultramarine blue with burnt umber and add the branches. The reason we are mixing ultramarine blue is that you get a little darker shade of the brown. And add tiny branches here and there inside near the leaves also. Just light touches here and there to indicate the presence of branches. This is a skinny tree that I am making. I think I'll add one more branch and a little bit of leaves also. And make sure each time when you wash the brush to dab it with the paper towel so that you don't end up with too much water. I'm dipping only tiny bit of water with the tip of the brush. So far it's coming along well, I think. So again, a bit of ultramarine blue and sap green to add different shades of leaves. And for watercolor, it's okay to be looking like a light wash. As you can see, it's not like acrylic paint where you get the vibrant colors of the leaves. And since this is watercolor, I think it's perfectly okay to be lighter in shade. And if you like it darker, you can add more thicker paint with less water to add like a highlights. So here I am mixing little thicker paint with less water and applying a concentrated version of the paint to give it more depth to the tree, especially the inside layers. And if you're enjoying my tutorial, please subscribe to my channel because I post videos almost every single day and I enjoy making tutorials. And if I get a little bit of encouragement, I tend to make more art videos for you. So I appreciate your support on my channel. And see, if I add highlights like this, it's giving more depth to the tree. The beauty of watercolor is that it's easy to carry the kit, unlike acrylic paint, which is a little messy. If we carry this tiny limited palette of watercolors, you can make a painting anywhere. Like if you're in the park or something, it's very easy to draw a simple painting using watercolor. And I'm adding little touches of burnt umber to give it more depth and increase the vibrance of the branches. And the watercolor paper that I am using is not so expensive. It is just a regular watercolor paper that was available in the art store. It's not like a super expensive Arches paper or something like that. I like to practice on cheaper watercolor paper. But regarding paint, I think it's better to buy Winsor and Newton or something little expensive compared to the regular kit that we get in the stores. I think it's worth it to buy little expensive paint because they have more vibrance compared to the cheaper variety of paints. Earlier I used to do with the cheap paints, but now lately I'm switching to this kit. And thank you for watching my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you again. I'm adding some final touches to the leaves.